Let's go to YouTube. I'm just gonna do two videos today. And then I'm gonna do the other two tomorrow. Um, but my experience with before I get into this video, like, comment, subscribe, um, share. But anyways, man, this video is about the Attitude Era. If anybody grew up watching wrestling in the '90s, you would notice that the Attitude Era was different from the norm. Obviously, there was competing against WCW at the time, and WCW was just kicking their butts. You had you had other superstars coming out of WCW: Chris Benoit, Chris Jericho, The Big Show, Eddie Guerrero. You know what I'm saying? But what made the Attitude Era pop, in my opinion, was everybody bought in. It wasn't, oh, I don't want to play that role, you play that role. No, I don't want to play that role, you play. No, everybody bought in. And just like a movie, you need all your co-stars to buy into their roles, right? In order for that movie to pop. But I think that's what a lot of people didn't understand, was their characters was just so much more, than their personal, than their persona. You had you had the Undertaker take you know a dark turn. You had Kane becoming a real life monster. You had Kurt Angle being a Olympian gold medalist. You had Chris Jericho, being the savior of the early 2000s. You had a lot of factions. You had a lot of tag teams. You had a lot of titles. That's why I think WWE 2K13 was obviously the greatest wrestling game. Obviously with CM Punk on the cover. But I think that game was obviously the biggest. I would probably say 17. I would probably say 2K17 and 2K13 were probably my best favorite video games. 2K13, 12, 15, they were just not good. The roster was a little thin. But anyways, man, but like I said again, man, what made those characters come to life was, they bought in. They wasn't selfish. They wasn't, for themselves. They weren't like mankind portrayed average Joe, tie, mask, just the Rock, he resembled, a jockey, like kind of like a smart aleck, like he would come down to the ring with, $500,000 watch, suit, what I'm saying? Like he was just one of those typical, jockeys. Stone Cold, he pursued a beer swelling redneck. Obviously, he was from Victoria, Texas, so he played that part very well. In my opinion, you had the Hardy Boys, just extreme. You had the Dudley Boys who love, tables. They used to call them the termites because they just love wood. Um, you had a porn star in Val Venus. You had a pimp in The Godfather. You had a police officer in The Big Boss Man. Rest in peace. So you just had a lot of great talent. Um, you just had a lot of great talent, and I think that the Attitude Era can never be matched. Now, there's some people gonna be out there that say, "Oh, the Attitude Era wasn't really that all too good." If you really look at it, it was just the main events that popped. The matches was boring. You would get new champions almost every other day. Like it was just boring. Like now in today's wrestling, you see you see superstars hold a belt for like 2 years, 3 years, 4 years without even, you know, re- relinquishing it. But back in the day, that wasn't it. Stone Cold would have the belt for 2 months, lost it probably to the Big Show. Big Show would have the belt for like 24 hours, 72 hours, lose her right back again to to the Rock or Triple H. So the belt was just constantly rotating. It wasn't stuck with one person for 325 days, 400 like it is now because there is no competition. And when there's no competition, like the WWE is gonna have to pull a rabbit out of its hat and say, okay, this is what we got to do to get Roman Reigns to get the belt off of Roman Reigns, because Roman Reigns is obviously is 36. I'm probably pretty sure he has like what 4 years left. As soon as he hits 40, he's done. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen, but I don't think Roman Reigns is going to wrestle for that long because, obviously he wants to see his daughter grow up. He only has one child. So I'm pretty sure when he hits that pinnacle, when he hits that age, he's just going to retire. It don't matter how many championships he won. He's obviously going to be a first ballot Hall of Famer when it's all said and done, because of his accolades, his short accolades. But it is what it is. So by the time Roman Reigns hit 40, I'm pretty sure it's going to be over. Who knows? He might probably wrestle into his mid 40s. Who knows? You know, but he always wanted to pursue Hollywood, because he said that in the interview. He said that you know I can't keep on doing this forever. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Going from state to state, city to city, sold out arenas, even overseas, even in other areas like, Singapore, Indonesia, Saudi Arabia, you know what I'm saying? Like, he said that he enjoyed all that experience, but there's a time that you have to lace up the boots and put the boots away. You know what I'm saying? And whenever that time comes, he'll walk away. Um, but who knows? He might probably wrestle into his 40, 45, 42, 43, 46. So when he hits that age point, and he feels like he can't do it no more, he's gonna walk away. Now, obviously, he's gonna, tell everybody, but that's just how wrestling is in these days. Like, you didn't have a choice. You think Stone Cold at the age of what, 27, 28 years old, like he couldn't really just say, you know what, I quit. I don't want to do this no more. My back hurts, my this, my that, my that. No, you have to play it out. And if you know the wrestling of the business, you know that there's no off days. Now, there is somewhat of a angle hoop that you can go over, but, you're on the road constantly. Every single day you're on the road. So there's no, and then you have to come out of pockets, and then you have to, travel and go to the next city, and then go to the next city, and then the next city, and the next. So, I mean, it's rugged. Picture what they had to do. Not last year, but think about what they had to do back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Like, they literally had to come out of pocket and afford for the expenses. You know what I'm saying? So, um, you know, it is what it is. But I just think that the attitude era can never be matched. It was like a classic movie. It really was. You had romance, you had drama, you had gore, you had blood, you had drama. Yeah, it was just a classic horror movie rolled into one. Or a classic movie. It don't even have to be any genre. It could just be a classic movie. You know, but obviously we'll never see it again. We could always we can. The only thing we can do is just hold it to our memories and just enjoy this generation. I guess I'm pretty sure a lot of people hate this generation of wrestling. Um, you know, if you were to put anybody from the Attitude Era in this generation, you would probably say, "Oh, they'll beat them all." Probably, because if you really look at this roster is thin. This roster is thin as heck. You know. No, I'm not saying that. I started watching wrestling. You know, but I watch it here and there. I recognize some people. I recognize none. You know, so so it's been 10 years since I haven't watched wrestling. The last time I watched wrestling was 2009, August 12th. So that's 2009, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. So you probably say 11, 10 years I haven't been watching wrestling, you know, but I just don't have the feeling for it, or I just don't have the energy for it anymore. But I will always remember WCW, ECW, WWF, if you want to call it E, if you want to call it F. I lived throughout the whole Ruthless Aggression era. So the only one wrestling I haven't really watched was the Golden Era, and that was when they had a lot of great wrestlers like, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage, Junkyard Dog, Million Dollar Man, The Undertaker. So that's the only generation that I haven't really watched wrestling. But other than that, fast forward, here we are, because I thought that after the Attitude Era, there was no way that they can, duplicate what the Attitude Era was, you know. But Triple H said that it's not really about reliving it, but it's about making it better, because just like the NFL, NBA, they go out there and they evaluate talent, just like how they have the draft, how they have the draft how they have the draft for both Raw and SmackDown. It's the same thing. We go out there and we accumulate a lot of talent. We had some guys who played the NFL. We had some guys who played in the NBA. You know what I'm saying? We had some college players that played in college but didn't hack it out. So he said that because obviously he's in charge of talent relations. He's in charge of bringing in new talent. Whether they're there a month, 2 months, it is what it is. It's a business, and they just accumulate the best talent that they possibly can. They look for guys that have amateur background, kind of like Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin, Brock Lesnar, Kurt Angle. You know what I'm saying? We look, like he said that we look for technical wrestlers. We look for high flyers. We look for all sorts of kind of different wrestlers, just like how the NFL has 7 rounds, the NBA have 2 rounds. So like it's no different. It's no different. And for the people who say wrestling is fake, you could say it's choreographed. Like you could say, okay, yeah, they know the moves before it comes. Like they choreographed it before the show happens. Because I remember when it was, I remember The Rock and Austin. No, The Rock and Triple H was rehearsing their roles. Like, okay, I'm gonna put you in the corner. I'm gonna punch you, and I'm gonna punch you. And then when I give you the cue, you duck. Or if I give you like a wink, you dunk, you duck, and then you replace me into the corner and you start hitting me. So yes, wrestling is choreographed. Is it fake? We've seen a lot of injuries. We've seen a lot of deaths. We saw Owen Hart fall to his death. So obviously that was a freakish accident. Maybe one of the harnesses that was, carrying him, it wasn't secured right. Who knows? Um, but like I said, man, we had a lot of deaths in the wrestling business. We had a lot of injuries. But the injuries are real. The injuries are real. Just like how NBA players tweak their legs a lot. We see NFL players get multiple concussions, CTE. So, I mean, obviously there's CTE in the WWE as well. You know what I'm saying? So, any sport you do is going to require hard work, preparation. So, for the people who say it's fake, it's not really fake, but it's choreographed, you know. So you could just replace the word fake with choreograph. It's choreographed. Like it's beforehand. It's beforehand time, you know. So that's all I have. Like, comment, subscribe. If you have any fond memories of the Attitude Era, Ruthless Aggression Era, Golden Era, WCW, whatever genre of wrestling you was in back in the day, uh, you know, you can let me know in the comment section down below. Uh, until next time, take care of yourself and each other. And quote, Kane and the Undertaker was also in WCW. Just to let you know. So the amount of talent that came from WCW to WWE or to WWF at the time, now you know where all those crop of, talent came from,